Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be like part 2 of my little influencer series. We are going to be talking all things pitching. So hopefully by the end of this video, you'll be feeling so much better about pitching. Take notes, write down whatever you want. I'm spilling all of the tea today. So if you want to learn exactly how I got to work with some of my dream brands such as Abercrombie & Fitch, Missguided, Princess Polly, Fabletics, Boohoo, literally the list goes on, then keep watching. The first little segment that we are going to get into is going to be all about your media kit. Think of a media kit as basically like your resume or your portfolio. It is the thing that's going to hold all of the details and information that a brand is going to want to see, and that is going to sell your personal brand to these brands. If you have a very specific style, I definitely would show that in your media kit rather than just using a template that you can find on the internet. Definitely make it your own, do a lot of research and see exactly what would be best for you to put on your media kit based off of, what your social platforms look like. I'd recommend keeping it as minimal as you possibly can. Keep it concise and to the point, and probably stick to around 2 pages or so for your media kit. I know there's a lot of controversy with just having everything on 1 page, 2 pages. I used to have a 4-page media kit, and that is what I used for the longest time. That got me so many of those brand deals that I mentioned early on in the video. I really don't think that there's a right or wrong answer for how many pages. I think it's just all about the information that you put on those pages and how clear and concise you are. I'd recommend plastering yourself all over your media kit in a very aesthetic way, but making sure that you are providing pictures for them to see kind of what your aesthetic is like, what kind of content you create. If you worked with specific brands, to include those brand photos throughout your media kit as well, but providing pictures is key. As for the meat of the media kit, the most important part, I'm going to kind of read off some of the things that I think are important to include and what I have on mine personally. So you can do a brief about you if you'd like. That isn't 100% necessary. If you do an about me, I'd keep it very, very clear and concise as to who you are, where you are based, what your niche is, like what content you produce, and maybe a little fun fact about yourself and like who you are as a person. Another big thing that I like to stress so much is putting all of your contact info immediately on your media kit so that it's like one of the first things that they see. And this might include your email, which if you can hyperlink that, your Instagram handle or whatever your main platform is, and make sure you hyperlink that. If you have some sort of website that you want them to see, you can do that as well. Making sure that your contact information is very clear, because you never know who this media kit will get passed down to as well. And you're going to want to have that contact information very clear on your media kit. So I'll kind of run you through my first page and what it looks like. I have my top social media platforms, the platforms where I post the most consistently, and the platforms where I offer brand deals. So I have Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Since Instagram is my main platform, I have the most statistics listed for that platform. So I include follower amount, engagement rate, average weekly impressions, and average story views. And then as for TikTok and YouTube, I just have the follower count there, but you could do like average impressions or whatever you would like to do for those. But I keep it pretty to the point just so that they get the idea of kind of like what they're working with. And then I make sure to hyperlink each of those little icons back to that specific social media platform. Make your media kit as clickable as possible. That's what you want. You want them to be able to click around, and it can easily redirect them to an account. It's just another step, another thing that they have to do to go out of their way to search on Instagram your username. Just put it there for them, super easy. As for statistics, which is going to be the main thing that brand is going to want to see, they're going to want to see why working with you is going to be beneficial to their brand. So I include the gender breakdown, and I really base this off of my Instagram because, again, that is my main platform. I include the age breakdown and what percentage of my audience makes up that specific age group. And then I provide location. Again, this all comes back to their specific goals and their target markets as well. well. Then onto the second page, I have all of my top brands that I have previously worked with. I have copied and pasted their logos onto my media kit and made it look very nice and uniform, but this gives brands a good idea as to what experience I have and whether I'd be able to represent their brand just as well as I have with my past partnerships. And then I also break down as to what kind of deliverables I can offer, and this will come in handy later down the road too. When you need to provide rates, then I just slip in the rate that goes hand in hand with that deliverable and can easily send that over to them as well. But I don't usually ever send over rates within the first initial email because I feel like that could sell yourself short in the long run. Moving on to section 2, finding your contacts. So I use a Google Sheets to keep track of everything. I just think it's super easy. It aligns with how I set up the rest of my business. You can keep track of contacts many different ways. This is what I've just found is best. And first, I'll just tell you how I set mine up. I have a column for brands so that whenever I think of or see brands that I potentially want to reach out to, I'll just create a list of brands. I'll highlight them so that I know that I have not reached out to them yet. And then I will write the contact name in the next column, their title, so if it's like influencer relations specialist US market or something like that, I'll write whatever their title is, their email, and then I'll include a notes section, a section for the date that I've reached out, and then another column for the date that I will follow up on, and we'll highlight that so I know that the next time I go into my little contact sheet, I can see exactly who I need to follow up with that day. So it's very easy to keep track of everything. And then I will also have a little column where I'll have like yes or no if my outreach email ended up going through and if it worked out or not. As for finding the actual contact, this has been my pro tip for such a long time. No, you do not need to pay any money to do this. It is so simple and it works. It might take some trial and error, but once you get the hang of it, it's very easy to continue on with. So what I do is I take that list of brands that I have written down on that Excel sheet, and then I'll head over to Google, I'll type in the search bar, brand, influencer relations, LinkedIn. Something along those lines. I usually type in influencer first, something with influencer, and then might go on to marketing coordinator, social media coordinator, PR, communications, something like that if I cannot find a point of contact with influencer in their title. Once I find a good point of contact, it will bring me directly to their LinkedIn, and this kind of cheats the system because if you are not a LinkedIn member, if you just have like a typical account, you can't search directly through LinkedIn more than like 10 or so, I forget how many it is, but 10 or so times a month, and that is it. Then you have to buy the premium version. But if you go through Google and just type in through there, that's how you cheat the system and don't have to pay. So hopefully that stays that way and I'm not leaking a bad secret. But anywho, after I find some sort of name, a point of contact that I think will be a good fit, I'll go over to my Google search bar again and we'll type in that brand email format. You know, sometimes I'll just get a search and it will already have that brand's email format showing in the little like ad spot that comes up. You know what I mean? Like there's more information when you do a Google search that comes below the website. So sometimes that information will already be there and I won't even have to click on the link. But most times I go to Rocket Reach for this information, aka I don't go to the website, I go straight from Google to that Google link that brings me directly to that brand's Rocket Reach. And Rocket Reach is not 100% accurate, but it does give the breakdown as to what a brand's email format looks like and the percentage of times that that email format is used in the brand. So I'll typically then take the point of contact, their name, and we'll insert it into the brand's email format. Most of the time, this works. Sometimes it does not work. Sometimes that brand does not have a specific email for influencers, and it's maybe just like PR@brand.com. It could be that way. It could be that you need to try out a different email format, but we'll get to that later. So that is how I initially find my emails and my contacts, and that, like I said, works for me 99% of the time. Also with Rocket Reach, I do believe, again, they have a certain amount of lookups per month, week, something like that. So if you go to Rocket Reach, I think it's .co, and type in the brand that you're looking for their email format, you can only do that a certain amount of times. But if you go through Google, that does not happen. That has not happened for me, at least. So again, I might be revealing a secret and they might fix this problem, but that's, again, how I cheat the system and how I avoid paying for a subscription with Rocket Reach. Let's get into section 3, the actual email, the pitch, the thing that's going to either make or break this potential partnership.